Hey, what's up? Good morning, boys and girls, moms and dads, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandmas, grandpas. Welcome to Devotion. I am hanging out this morning in the neighborhood, and it's just me again. You're stuck with good old Pastor Eric, I guess, this morning. But it is Tiny Town Tuesday, so I hope that you guys had a chance to check out Tiny Town Worship over the weekend. If you haven't, man, go back and check that out. Really great story this week from John chapter 13. I hope you'll be able to do that. You can find that on our Facebook page. Just scroll through our timeline or check out our YouTube page, The Heights Kids. And while you're there, man, subscribe to that. We would love for you to do that. So like I said, I'm hanging out in the neighborhood today. If you're ever in kids worship, I know our Tiny Town friends, they don't get to be in kids worship yet, but your time is coming soon. This is actually my house right here in kids worship, 413, right here in the neighborhood, and glad to hang out with you in front of my house right here. And if this guy right here, Mr. Andrew, he's at work this week, so he's not home, but see, no one's home. So, but wanted to hang out with you guys this morning. Excited to share with you about our story this week. John chapter 13. Jesus washes the disciples' feet. So the question is, if I love Jesus, do I have to wash people's feet? And I ask that question because you know what? I'm going to tell you a secret. I think feet are gross. I don't like feet. I don't want to be touched by feet. I don't want to touch another person's feet. I mean, I'm okay putting like my socks and shoes on, but I don't like feet. I think they're just gross. So this story is really hard for me, but I need to understand, I want you to understand, what is God telling us in the Bible, in this story? What is the point of this story? Is it that we're supposed to wash people's feet? Or is there a bigger message that Jesus is telling the disciples and telling us, those of us who are his followers now? And I want to answer that. He's not necessarily saying we have to wash feet, but we might. You see, you and I are called to love people, just like Jesus loved people. And in this story, Jesus is having his last meal before he goes to the cross. Jesus is going to be betrayed. He's going to be arrested. And he's going to go die on the cross for our sins. And before he does that, he serves. Now, the cross is absolutely a picture of serving. We are the most served by Jesus going to the cross. But Jesus gives his disciples, gives us this beautiful picture of what it looks like to follow him here on earth. And we're to do that through serving. Serving is part of how we're obedient to God. God calls us to love him first, love our neighbors as ourselves. Well, how do we do that? Is it just by saying nice things? Well, sure. But sometimes it takes a little bit more. See, saying nice things doesn't take a lot of energy out of us, even though our mouth can be really, really mean and bad. We let some mean and ugly things sometimes fly out of our mouth. But what are we doing? You see, in this story, it's really interesting. Jesus having this last meal with his best friends. And he takes off his coat. And so Jesus goes down to like his normal clothes, and he puts a towel around his waist, and he gets a bowl full of water, and he washes his friends' feet. Now, this is kind of a thing that you and I don't understand. When someone comes over to our house, we don't wash their feet. We don't even make them wash their hands. But if you lived when Jesus lived, which was about 2,000 years ago, you didn't have, the same kind of shoes that we had. You wore sandals. The roads weren't paved. The sidewalks weren't paved or concrete. They were, everything was dirt. I mean, if you had a really nice Roman road, it might be stone. But even that was dirty. So it was a big deal to wash feet. Another reason it was a big deal to wash feet is you didn't sit at the table, you reclined at the table. You would kind of lay at the table, which again, for us, we don't understand. But if you're laying, that means your feet are near people. They're not down on the floor and you're up here. Your feet are really close to somebody's face. I'm very thankful that God didn't make me live 2,000 years ago. I probably wouldn't have known any better, but I would have struggled if I know what I know now. So it was important to wash feet because they were dirty. But here's the thing. The person who owned the house didn't wash the feet. In fact, the servant, if there was one, didn't wash the feet. The homeowner, the person who was throwing the party, would have what was considered the lowest person wash the feet. Now, we like to think, well, that sounds mean. It really kind of is. But that's how it worked. It was deemed such gross and nasty and awful work that nobody wanted to wash feet. So Jesus even gets some pushback from his friends. Peter is like, whoa, Jesus, you can't wash my feet. Do you know who you are? And Jesus actually responds like, I need you to let me do this. This is important. And Peter gets the message. He even says, like, well, don't just wash my feet. Just wash everything. Wash my head, wash my arms, wash my feet. Just wash the whole thing, Lord. And Jesus says, look, I just need to wash your feet. So why does Jesus do this? Do you and I have to wash feet? And the answer is, like I said, maybe. This is all about serving. It's all about showing God's love to other people. It's all about showing you don't think too highly of yourself, and I don't think too highly of myself. Who is washing the feet in our story? Jesus. The most important person ever. God in the flesh, the most important person ever, is on the floor washing people's feet. That's wild. And so what Jesus shows us is no matter how important your role is, no matter how special you and I are, we are called to serve other people, to be selfless, to sometimes get down in the dirt and the ugly and the things we don't want to do and help, to bless other people, to show them God's kindness, to be selfless. That's what Jesus is showing us. You know, here at the Heights, we have some questions that we challenge our grown-ups to ask each other or themselves. But boys and girls, these are for you too. And one of those questions are, where are you serving? Now you might think, dude, it's Tiny Town Tuesday. I'm a preschooler. Where am I supposed to serve? You know, you can serve at home. You can serve here at church. You can serve by walking down the hall and showing God's kindness to people. You can serve by being obedient to your leaders or your mom or your dad. You can serve by picking up your toys at home or on Sunday morning by helping to pick up your classroom without complaining or arguing or having to be told again. You know, maybe you can do a small chore around the house. Maybe when you're unloading the dishwasher, you can help put away the silverware, just not the knives. Let your older brother, sister, or mom, or dad do that. But there are absolutely ways that you can serve. There are absolutely, from the littlest to the biggest, ways that you can serve. Even as you get older, and maybe you can't go out as much, and maybe you don't have as much energy. Do you know what? One of the best ways you could serve is to pray. Man, we're always looking for people, I know I am, for things that we're doing around here, for people to pray about what we're doing. That's a great act of service. It's so awesome to know people are praying. But boys and girls, you can serve. Where are you serving? That's the picture that Jesus gives us. And who does Jesus serve? Well, in the story, his 12 best friends. But the interesting thing is one of those we know didn't show friendship back to Jesus. That's Judas. Judas was at the table that night. Judas was going to do some really bad and awful things. He's going to betray Jesus. He's going to break their friendship. He's going to prove that he's not loyal. But he got served that night. Jesus washed the feet of a person who didn't like him. So boys and girls, you and I are called to do the same thing. We are called to serve those who like us and who we like. And we're called to serve people who maybe we don't like and who don't like us. We're called to serve everyone. That is a way that we show selflessness and God's kindness to people by serving. By showing them love. You know, Jesus served us. I said this earlier. Maybe the greatest act of serving ever. I would say it is, but maybe. Jesus went to the cross for you and me. He died in our place. He took our punishment. Because Jesus hadn't sinned. He hadn't made bad choices, but he went to the cross for you and me. The greatest act of serving. And if Jesus, the greatest of all time, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords can serve, then I think you and I can serve too. So I want to practice our memory verse. I don't have Ms. Brandy, so hopefully I can pull this off on my own. But let's see if we've got this. Okay, I've got my notes. It's John 15:12. Love each other as I have loved you. John 15:12. Can you say it with me at home one more time? Love each other as I have loved you. John 15:12. Thank you, boys and girls, for hanging out with me this morning. Hey, guess what? Next Wednesday, hang time is back here at the Heights. Wednesday nights, 5:30 to 7:30. We'll play some soccer. We'll ride in our cars. We'll play on the playground. We'll do all sorts of cool things. So I hope that you guys will encourage mom or dad or whoever the adult you're with is to bring you start next Wednesday at 5:30. That is contingent on weather. I just want to throw that out there. So if it's raining or something like that, unfortunately, we won't be able to gather. But if the weather is nice, we are back for hang time. That's for children who are age 2 up through 12th grade. So we don't have nursery care, but for 2-year-old and up, you can come hang from 5:30 to 7:30 anytime. That's a drop-off event. Check in, and you can pick up at any time as well. We look forward to being able to hang out some more on Wednesday night. Thank you guys so much for being here this morning. Again, if you haven't been able to see Tiny Town Worship this week, check it out. You can scroll back through our news feed or go to the Heights Kids on YouTube, and you'll find it there. Thank you guys. So much more coming today. Check it out. All kinds of good stuff for our preschool friends here on the Children's Ministry page today. Tiny Town Tuesday. Have a good one, guys.